All right, what is up, guys? Sorry, the video might be a little bad tonight. I am coming to you from a hotel here, but good to be here talking some Utah Utes football. I'm gonna bring on one of the guys we'll have joining us tonight. We got Larry Pilgrim. Larry, how are you doing tonight, man?
Good. How you doing?
Good. Good to see
How's
your
my
face.
audio?
Usually you come on with just the audio only. Good to see you, man. How are you?
Good. Good. Good.
Awesome. And I don't expect a crazy turnout tonight, but as you guys jump in, please make sure you like the video, jump in as we discuss the different topics from the game, comment down below. And again, sorry, I am coming to you from a hotel tonight. I'm in Boston, so pretty cool. And I had like a microphone and everything, and then I realized that my MacBook Air needs like a special adapter to connect USBs. So that's why it's just straight nothing tonight. So if I sound terrible, just know that. Good old Larry, that's what Dakota says. Dude, who doesn't love Larry Pilgrim? Good guy. And dude, I don't know why you don't use your backdrop more. That thing's awesome. It looks like you have an awesome backyard, beautiful. Is that a golf course?
Yeah. Yeah. There were a few deer here just a minute ago back there. Yeah.
So you're just living the life out there, huh? Golf
Don't
course.
don't don't tell anybody.
That's awesome, man. Why don't you jump in? Tell me your thoughts on the game as just in general.
I thought we came out real conservative. Uh, Kind of looked uninspired for a little bit. Offensive line just didn't seem to be pushing anybody really.
Yeah.
It seemed too conservative to
No, I
start.
mean those are some good points. I think at times it did feel that way. I felt like the O line and the D line. You can tell me what your thoughts are, and I'm gonna have to really rewatch the entire tape to really give a strong take because O line and D line is so tough. But it felt like there were plays where they looked great, and there were plays where they looked terrible. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, and one of the things I noticed last week, and I mentioned it, it happened again this time. I love Jalen Glover, but if you look at the timing, like if you go back and watch that game,
Yeah.
he's slow out of the hole, so he's a half a second later to get to the line. Where Jaquindon, he's shooting out of there, and he's just when those holes are open, he's hitting them on time. And if
Yeah.
if anybody noticed, Jalen Glover, it's really slow between the mesh. It's just I mean, I love Jalen Glover, but somebody's got to get this guy hitting that hole quicker. Those were some of the same problems we saw with the kid we lost, the 4-star running back. He was just not very aggressive. Um, he ended up at Fresno or one of the Cal schools.
If anyone
Um,
in the comments knows who you're talking about, I'm
uh,
not sure off the top of my head.
we battled USC for him and we got him, and he just I'm sorry, it was 2 years ago, but anyway, back to the point. I just felt like the offensive line timing with our running backs and the plays being called is just off. I just feel like that's our biggest thing going on right now with this offense.
No, I mean, I think that makes a lot of sense. I also feel like there are some concerns with Jalen Glover. I don't think he's a bad running back, but I agree there's not a lot of spectacular that you were hoping to see. I mean, I don't know if you remember when Jalen Glover signed with Utah, the hype was so high that we all thought he was about to be a rock star within a year or two, and it just hasn't quite played itself out yet. And I think that's a little bit of what we're talking about, right? Is the
Right.
expectation for him is so high. But I agree with you. I mean, I would say I'd like to see the acceleration out the gate a little better. And you were talking specifically last week. I just want to make sure this is what you're referring to this week is the handoff, right? How
Yeah.
how long the handoff takes.
Yeah. The timing, from the snap to the exchange to the time he gets to that line, it's almost like, not saying that he's trying to make a move before he gets the ball. He's just not. I'm not saying he's dancing before he gets the ball, but it just is. He doesn't seem like he's just going at the quarterback, for whatever designation hole or scheme he's trying to run in. It seems very slow, and
Yeah.
it's given defenses a little more time to adjust. to close gaps. And the offensive line, to me, it's a timing issue.
Yeah.
So
This is a good question by Dakota. How many people were out? Larry, do you know the official list? I know we had Vele out and we had Pittman out. Was anyone else out?
I know on offense.
Oh, yeah,
No, I
Broughton
know.
was out on defense.
Yeah, and so just the regular suspects plus Broughton and
O'Toole's still
Pittman,
out. Yeah.
Vele, Pittman, Vele.
Yeah. Anyone
So I
else on
think
offense?
Pittman and Vele are the only two that come to mind. I think all of our offensive line was there, all of our backs. So from last week's game to this, we were missing Pittman and Vele.
Oh, here we go. Capisi dropped in. Becker was out. I noticed that too. Joey Cheek was the kicker. Becker, and then Tafuna, Peppa, O'Toole. Man, what are your thoughts on this, Larry? I would love to just spend a minute talking about the people that were out, just since the topic's been brought up. Where are you at mentally? Do you think there's any chance we're holding a lot of these guys back because they are healthy and we just don't want to waste the reps? I mean, what are you thinking about it right now, Larry?
Yeah, so from what I've heard, the defensive line, we're missing Peppa. From what I heard 3 weeks ago, it was a hand.
Yeah.
So worst case scenario, defensive line, if the guy's got a hand injury, usually they can wrap him up and play. But we're so deep, and the talent gap between 1 and 7 isn't big enough. So yeah, defensive line, I think they're doing that. Connor O'Toole, I don't know what's going on there, but I definitely think we're going to be okay. And like you said, I think there's a few guys they're just kind of holding out because they don't need them, really.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really blame them. The reason I'm asking the question, one is like to get your thoughts on if you think that's a good idea, right? But two, um, should we be optimistic that they're coming back? You know what I mean? Like, are we all of a sudden against UCLA going to see a flood of starters come back in the lineup?
I don't think so. I think we may see a few. I mean, who knows if Keithy. Let's be honest, Keithy and Rising are our two biggest missing players. We've seemed to do pretty good missing some of the guys we've had.
Yeah.
Reed coming back today, I think was really good.
Yeah.
But against Weber State, you can how much of an impact did he have? I mean, I know he broke up a nice little slant at the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Hey, Reed's the staple, a big time staple of this defense, and a guy that I think you and I both agree that him being out there is a game changer for this defense. And speaking of the defense, why don't we talk a little about that? So I think the defense had a super, super good day. You look at the yards that they were able to put up. Let's take a look here. I'm going to go ahead and put the stats on the screen so we can all look at them together. But the defense had a super, super good day. Where is it? There we go. Let's take a look here. You seeing that? The stats?
I think I can't see it. I just have my phone set up out here, but I think it was
cool.
120 something yards total for them.
Let's pull it up here. I got it. Total yards, 127 yards. And I think what's most exciting about that number, which is a really good number, our defense did a really good job. But the most exciting part is that a big chunk of that was on one play. Like there was that one huge run they made. And it really felt, I think the cool thing we saw from the defense today was it was really well disciplined football, and they just gap discipline, just kept making plays. And it was like a couple big plays here and there, but outside of that, they stood their ground and just looked really good. I mean, what did you think about the defense today, Larry?
It was awesome. Just like you said, outside of that one drive, which I think was around half of their yards were on one drive. If I remember right, and defense looked great. They looked really good. They played a little more inspired than the offense, in my opinion. Yeah.
Any specific players you feel like really stood out on defense?
I think DeMooney. I think I mean Cole Bishop is. I think we've just come to expect what we're getting from him,
Yeah.
and he's just he's doing his job. I think Levani DeMooney is really starting to get very acclimated to this defense. He's making a lot of moves, shutting down a lot of lanes on defense. So I'm impressed with him as far as coming along defensively. Other than that, it seems pretty regular. I think those guys are just studs. And so Fabian Marks, hey, we got to see Fabian Marks again.
Yeah, I was surprised on that one. Fabian Marks has been around a while, huh? He just kind
Yeah,
of
he was. Yeah, I remember he was the Rose Bowl year where he was one of our big losses. So
well, and he's every time with PFF he grades out as a guy that's like really good against the run, but not very good in coverage, which is kind of like not great for a corner. You know what I mean? It's like the run stopping is more of a bonus. You got to be able to cover, but
yeah, yeah.
good to see him get out there, get some reps in. So, where's your mind at heading into UCLA, man? What do you how do you think we're gonna do?
I'm a little spooked on our offense. I think defensively we're really solid, but if our offense can't stay on the field, eventually our defense is going to give in. So that's my biggest concern. So Nate Johnson, I think he's got it. We were real conservative, and I don't know if we're saving some of this stuff or he's just not capable of running some of the plays that we need to run, because I don't know if you noticed everything 10 to 15 yards and inside the hashes, which is our bread and butter on our offense, we weren't going there today. And I don't know if they're kind of holding back on film, but our offense is my concern. I think our
You know what?
defense.
Let's actually, instead of talking about UCLA, let's talk about Nate Johnson since we're on the topic. I actually keep going, Larry. Sorry to cut you off. I just wanted to say
Yeah,
let's
no, you're
spend
good.
some time on it.
I'm just concerned on our offense because UCLA actually they're a decent defense. So I would really.
UCLA is a solid team, dude. UCLA, we're not going to bring our C game and win the game. And like you said, we can't rely on the defense the whole time. I think what'll happen, and what tends to happen, is if you just completely lean on your defense, a great defense can hold you in the game for one half, right? But you get to the third and fourth quarter and they start to wilt. It's almost impossible to expect the defense to just perform. And if your offense isn't getting first downs, it doesn't matter. Like your defense is going to get tired before that. Like they won't be able to just keep going out there, super tired. I thought Nate did pretty good. I mean, I think his stat at one point was 13 for 19 for 193 yards and a touchdown and the rushing yards. I mean, I thought it was a pretty good day by Nate overall. I mean, how would you feel about us winning if he's the quarterback when we go play UCLA?
I have 50-50 on that game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How'd you feel about him in general? I know you said the play calling felt limited with him in there, but how'd you feel about how do you think Nate looked?
I think he looked good. I think his passing is adequate.
I'm off to America's Best. I heard what you said about not overpaying for glasses.
There's an ad.
And a free quality eye exam starting at just $70.
Just go ahead and close that one out.
Nope, we're
good. Cool. So go on. You're talking about Nate. You thought he looked pretty good?
I thought he looked good. I think he was very competent. The one thing, and I don't know if anybody else noticed it, he did it last week against Baylor. When he keeps it, he should give it, and when he gives it, he should have kept it. There was the one run he kept it, and Jaquindon had nobody over there, and Nate just a few times just ran right into the teeth of the defensive line.
Really?
And so, something's going on with his gives. I don't know what he's reading, but he's reading it wrong. So I think that was
notice it too much today, but I did notice it in other games. I was in Boston today during the game, so I was kind of it's tough to keep too much focus on it.
How did you feel about his performance?
I thought he hit a lot of what he should hit, right? It felt like when he was out there and when I thought this was by far the best game he's had throwing the ball. I mean, it was against Weber State. You got to take that into account. Wow, Larry, it is wild how much the sun has gone down.
All right, hold on.
Since we started
Yeah.
this video for you, man. It's like literally the lights went out. But it is definitely his best game throwing the ball. I thought he looked really good. He made a couple nice throws, like that one to Munir McLean down the left sideline. He hit him. One thing is when they were showing the replay, I noticed he hits him right as he comes open over the linebacker. It's not like it was a late throw, and it was a nice throw. It was wide open, but he read the defense well. I felt like I'm sick of the whole, read option. I 16 runs for Nate Johnson. That just feels a little excessive. If he's really our backup, if that's what they're saying, he's really our backup quarterback. It seems a little wild that we're running him up the gut 16 times a game. Like, what happens if he gets injured?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then it becomes the Bryson Barnes show, right?
Yeah, that didn't work out too well.
No.
One other guy we could talk about before we move on to UCLA talk is Quinton Jackson. What'd you think? I mean, this is another awesome game from him. High yards per carry. How good do you think this guy's going to be this year?
If he can stay healthy, man, he's been good in every game. I love him. He was averaging 7 to 8 yards a carry.
Yeah, today was 6.9.
Yeah,
that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, he's just awesome. I love his running. I love how he hits he just goes through there. I love it.
Yeah, I think yeah, go for it.
No, if he can stay healthy, I think he's going to have one of those years.
Yeah, JJ's definitely one of the best players on our team. I think that's not even a controversial statement. When I watch him carry the ball, it feels like if there's a hole there, like you said, he just kind of explodes through it, comes flying out the gate, and you got a guaranteed 7 to 10 yards, which is like, to me, he's like, when you watch him, he's a draftable running back. Like, he's got to do it for a season, but he seems special, dude. So weird that this just kind of worked out where we switched him from quarterback to running back, and it was magic right away. I wonder if they've been thinking about it for a while and they just decided to finally pull the trigger.
Yeah, he looked awesome today. He looked awesome against Baylor too.
Yeah,
really.
No, he did, and I mean, he was the player of the game for me. If you watch the Studs video this week, he was the player of the game for me. He was awesome, dude. And we probably won't go too much longer. This is a Weber State game. I don't think we're going to get a ton of people jumping in here to talk about how we looked at Weber State. But why don't we do what we were saying? Let's move on to the UCLA game. Let's chat about it for a second. Just while we're on, let's get some initial thoughts. I haven't looked at the team at all, but since we're here, why the heck not? Why don't we pull up some PFF grades? We'll take a look. All right. So this is. Have you watched a good amount of UCLA, Larry?
No, because they haven't played anybody.
Yeah. No, yeah, that was Cal. Cal played Auburn. Let's see.
Yeah, I got to watch. They played San Diego
Coastal
State.
Carolina, right? I mean,
what's that? North Carolina.
Coastal Carolina.
Coastal or something. Yeah. They whooped them already.
Who are they playing this week? Do you know?
They're playing North Carolina State or something. Not North Carolina State. It's an FCS, a bottom FCS program or a HBC.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say North Carolina State's a pretty good team.
Yeah, no, it's not North Carolina State.
Oh.
It's like North Carolina Coastal something yeah. I didn't even know the university existed before today.
Let's see. I actually think better than PFF grades. Why don't we pull up some stats, UCLA stats? Let's see who their stars are. This is just me off the top, just taking a look at these guys. I have no idea what they look like, if they're any good. Let's see. You guys get to see the inside baseball tonight, how this works. Let's see. Ooh, who's this? 8.4 yards a carry on 20 carries. That's pretty damn impressive. And this guy on 25 carries 6.4. So I think it's first glance, I think it's pretty clear that they can run the ball, huh?
Yeah, they're okay. They're all right.
Those are pretty good numbers. All right, let's see. Boom. And then Dante Moore has basically a full 2 games, right? I think they pulled Garbers after the first quarter against Coastal Carolina, something like that, or he got injured or whatever it was.
Yeah, they've been playing the carousel for a few games, and today I kind of looked at the stats today, and Dante Moore started, and they brought Colin Schlee in once they were up like 35-0.
It looks like this North Carolina Central game is live now. Let's see if we can see how the team's doing. Let's here, I'm going to unshare my screen and then I'll find the stats from this game. Obviously, this game won't matter as much because it's an FCS team, but still worth looking at. Let's see.
Right. I watched a little bit of the San Diego State, Oregon State, and UCLA beat San Diego State 35-10, and Oregon State beat them 29-9 or something like that.
Yeah.
Today, 26-9, and San Diego State's, they're just not very good. So that gave me a little bit of hope.
Yeah. Well, I got the stats pulled up from today's game for UCLA. Oh, wrong one. All right. Let's take a look. I mean, nothing crazy. It doesn't look like there's anyone that stands out as like a superstar from this game. So, is what it is there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, another guy, a couple guys that stood out today for Utah was Munir McClain. Kind of came out of nowhere and looked like a pretty good receiver. What do you think about him today?
I was shocked. Actually, the one catch, actually both of his catches, Nate just, man, he threaded that, because it's not like he was just wide open.
Yeah.
Had a great run after the catch on that second one, I think. And it looked like he was looking to pitch the ball back to Landon King on that play. So he looked really, really good. I was more impressed with the throws by Nate. Yeah, they were money. Excellent throws.
Man, Nate, that's what I was saying earlier. Nate had a pretty damn good game. I feel like Nate, obviously, I don't want him starting against UCLA, but I feel way better today about him starting versus UCLA than I did a week or two ago. So,
yeah.
The receivers from this game that killed it. So, receiving, Munir McClain went 3 catches for 92 yards. Mikey Matthews, 2 catches for 38. So, Mikey Matthews is another guy that has a really high ceiling. I'm excited. We need Rising back next week. We want to beat UCLA. We need a lot of starters back. Cool. Well, Larry, anything else you want to go over from the game today?
Special teams.
Yeah.
Man, that was horrible.
Rough. Yeah, rough.
That was horrible. I mean, we're even trying to squib it, and they're still taking it back to the 50. I wouldn't doubt if they had more yardage in special teams than they did on offense. I don't even know if I want to look. Huh?
Yeah, for sure. I bet you that's actually a real thing. They had more special teams yards than offense.
Right.
But I'd say that's more of a compliment to our defense than, than anything.
So yeah, special teams is a big concern, because the competition's going to step up. So you know, I don't know what's going on with Cole Becker, if it's just like he pulled a nail or something. I mean,
someone said in here earlier in the chat, Capisi, he's usually a pretty reliable guy, but he says rumors of Becker being season ending. Who knows? But I'm just saying that'd be pretty bad, because he looks like he's going to be a good kicker, dude. That's,
Yeah. So
scary.
special teams was my biggest concern today.
Yeah, it was a tough go. So did you see that one guy, I forget who it was, just get straight ran over on that kick return?
Are you talking about the one where Nate Ritchie got blindsided?
Yeah.
It was. I'm shocked. I mean, it wasn't a blind side, but it kind of was. I watched the replay. He didn't see it coming.
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm pretty old school about football, dude. I come from. I mean, I'm not old, but I'm like when I was growing up playing football, I loved hitting people. I felt like you get a blind side, you're just excited that you got it.
Yeah.
That's how it worked. So I feel like it's a little bit on Nate Ritchie to make sure he doesn't get blindsided, right?
Yeah, that's a welcome back from your mission, huh? Man.
That's awesome, dude. All right, let's see. Anyone else? Abductor during Cole Becker got injured during warm-ups. Is that what happened? I didn't know about that. I think that's who he's talking about. Anything else, Larry, before we get out of here?
No, I'm good. Really got to dive, like you said, dive into some of the stuff we got coming up, and hopefully get some good news for next week.
Yeah, I think today, I don't know if it was a Munir McClain breakout, but I think it was a really cool performance to see him kind of stand out and do such a good job. It was pretty impressive because I think he's just kind of been in the background for a while and we kind of forgot about him. But it was cool to see him step up. I thought he looked pretty good, and he got, like you said, Nate made some tough throws to get him the ball. And Capisi says McClain got hurt as well. We've got the injury bug this year. I think it's a testament to our depth. Damn, like how are we still winning 2 Power 5 games? And it wasn't a crazy FCS win, but it was pretty dominant. I mean, 31-7.
Weber State's not a bad team.
Oh yeah,
they're
aren't they
not
like a
bad.
top 10 FC? I heard someone say they like won their conference or something 5 of 6 years, something like that. They're a good FCS team.
Yeah, they're a good FCS team, and actually they're a very senior laden team too. So it's not like we caught them in a rebuild. Their defense is considered to be one of the best FCS defenses out there. So
no, they were a good team.
Yeah,
all right, guys. Well, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. I'll have a microphone tomorrow. I'll make a bunch of videos for this week, and it should be a fun week against UCLA. I'm out of here. Go Utes. See you guys.
See ya.